welcome to YBE. It is Friday and I am excited. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining us. I am TT Lyle Ellis, aka the Joy Builder Coach, and I will be your interviewee for today for the 28 days of the Black Entrepreneurship. So we are on here today, and I can't wait to bring on my fellow Washingtonian, and she is also a fellow creative. I am looking so forward to this conversation. So let's just bring her on. Introducing Miss Shannon Baylor-Henderson. Hello.
Hello, my dear. How are you? Happy Friday.
Thank you. Happy Friday to you too.
Yes.
We are on the
great day of the week, the best day of the week for me. So
yes.
I'm excited.
yes, the best day of the week. We are on the 12th day of celebrating Black entrepreneurship. And when I saw who I was going to interview and all that you do, I was so excited. And the first thing, of course, as I said, you are a fellow Washingtonian, a DC native.
That's right. DC girls in the house, chocolate city to the fullest.
To the fullest. And we found out we both worked at the Washington Post, but we both also, I'm a marketing strategist. You are a storyteller and a content strategist, and we both believe in storytelling. So this is going to be delight. I'm so excited
to be here. I'm excited to talk to you. Let's chat.
Yes. So let's start off. Tell us, what is Content Commanders?
Wow. Okay. So Content Commanders is a full-scale content strategy and storytelling company. And we specialize in adding more power, perspective, and personality to your digital, print, and social messages. So a lot of times people are like, that's a long intro. What does that mean? So we come up with the roadmap and the message to turn all of your content into cash converting opportunities. That's what we do.
I love it. I love it because in the end, it's all about bringing in the revenue.
Absolutely.
So why did you get into this line of work? Talk to us about your path to Content Commanders.
Sure, absolutely. So Content Commanders was birthed recently in September 2020, but I've been an entrepreneur for most of my adult life, and I'm only 21, so, it hasn't been that long. But I've been an entrepreneur for most of my adult life. For 15 years, I ran a company called I'm Shannon, and I was a content developer and ghostwriter. And so I've published a lot of works. I've written 4 books. I have had multimedia coverage. I love writing. I started a business when I was 9 that dealt with writing, and I never put the pen down. But in this space, I wanted to show that Black women can think, and we are very smart, and we're very strategic and intentional. And I wanted to be a thought leader in this space beyond typical content creation. I wanted to be for the content creator. And so I came up with this idea of how do I help people tell better stories, but also how to capitalize from their stories, and thus Content Creators or Content Commanders was created.
Wow. So first of all, it's not many people, in the marketing game that love to write content. Even if we're great marketers, when it comes to writing the content, we freeze up. So tell us, how did you discover that was your passion and that it just flowed for you?
Well, all glory to God. I was born this way. Okay. So I was born this way. I like to think I came out the womb with a pen and a piece of paper, like, tell me to write. And like I said, when I was 9, I started a business, and that business was creating custom greeting cards for friends and family members. So they would go and buy blank Hallmark cards and give them to me and say, write a message to my wife or my friend or my cousin. And I would write these messages, and people would cry, they would laugh, and I got paid to do that.
Wow.
And so I kind of figured, I said, okay, this is a natural gift. I'm good at it. I like it. It makes me feel good. It makes other people feel good. How do
Mm-hmm.
I keep going? And I
Yeah.
never stopped.
Wow, that is incredible. That is incredible. So you also have something called CEO Recap Show with
Mhm,
Shannon.
mhm.
So taking it from writing content to, is that podcasting? Tell us about it.
So the CEO recap show is something that I started last year, around October, November. And the whole premise of that show was to give behind the scenes access to what it's like to build a brand from the ground up. I think oftentimes, especially on social media, especially in the news, we see the highlight reel. We see
Yeah.
all the great things that come from the dirty work that we don't get to see. So I said, you know what? I'm going to expose the dirty work, what it takes to build this brand, to learn hard lessons, to grow, to not make money, to make money. I want to show people what that's like so that they get an inside perspective. So I air that show every Friday via my Facebook page.
Mhm.
And we are going into season 2, which launches at the end of this month. I didn't even think I'd make it through season 1 because honestly, I hate cameras. Me and cameras are not friends.
I would have never known. I would have never known.
Challenge. It was, hey, if you want to be in this space, you have to face your adversities and face your challenges head on. And so now we're in season 2 of the show.
So tell me, you've had several shows. You're about to go into, did you say your third season or your second?
Second season.
Your
Second.
second season. So your second season, your second year. Tell me, what were the gems that you remember the most going through the beginning to the end with these CEO folks? What have you taken and then applied to your business?
I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is that your challenges are your peaks. So the
Mm.
things that you are afraid of, the things that you don't want to face, the things that you don't want to do, the things that you're hesitant about are the very same things that build the strength and character of who you are. And
Wow.
so through that, we have to rely on our faith. We have to rely on instinct. We have to develop relationships. We have to become someone outside of the shell of who we are in order to strengthen that weakness. And so through this show,
Mm-hmm.
through being in front of a camera, I've built so many relationships. I've talked to so many CEOs, and I realize we all have the same problems, getting stuck up here or in
Mm-hmm.
here, that doesn't allow us to apply the talent that we have. And now it's just flowing. It's flowing. So all glory to God with that, because I'm realizing the power of Shannon.
Wow, that is incredible. And that is a huge lesson for everyone listening, because I know we are all feeling the same things, that your challenges
Mhm.
are your peaks. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Now we get to talk about what I love, storytelling. Storytelling can be such an impactful thing to pull into a brand. Let's talk about it. Tell me why you think storytelling is important to building that brand.
Well, first and foremost, we all have a story, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes we shy away from the details of that story. But
Mhm.
the details of that story is what separates you from your competition. It's what elevates you in your space, in your industry. So when you learn how to hone that story and take charge of it, control the narrative, speak the truth, highlight the dirty parts, it gives you more power. It gives you more agility. You're able to position yourself in ways that you never thought about. So, my job as a storyteller is to extract and capture those details and show
Mhm.
you how to control that narrative and then position it in a way that's going to create better opportunities for you.
That is huge. Do you know how many people out there, they know they have a story,
Mhm.
they can't figure out just quite how to craft it. So if they come to you, you're going to have them talk through it and then craft that story. That is huge. That
It's
is.
all about direction and perspective. So, again, the very things that you are shying away from are probably
Mhm.
keys to your success. We just have to turn that story around and tell it to the right people.
Ah, I love it. I love it. So what is good content, and how can brands create good content?
Sure, good content has a point of view. it has a perspective, and it has a direction. So, we're in the content era. We are absorbing content probably at the fastest and most consistent pace that we've ever done so, especially with the invention of social media, and especially since we are decreasing our in-person time and relying so much on technology and Zoom and streaming. So good
Mhm.
content is when you have a point of view, when you know what you want to say, when there's research, there's weight to it. It's not just frivolously tying up time.
Yeah.
And then there's perspective. There's the angle, the lens in which you look at things and the things that you believe and how you speak that. And then the direction, knowing where what you think, what you say, what you believe should go and what's going to happen when you get there. That's good content. So we see a lot of stuff on social media with high views, right? Especially
Mhm.
TikTok and Clubhouse. We see these high views.
Yes.
Somehow we get skewed into believing that that's good content. It's
Mhm.
not. It's viral, social, fast content. Good content sits in your soul and simmers there and
Mm.
causes you to react.
Did you guys hear that? Good content sits in your soul and simmers there. There's one theme that I heard you talk about that you didn't exactly say. And Maxine, you are so right. You control your narrative and position it to capture the opportunities. One thing that you were saying as you were talking about it is that the person essentially adds their own flavor. So there is this line of authenticity
Mhm.
in there. We always talk about authenticity, but I still would love to hear your thoughts on authenticity and how it plays a part in content creation.
Absolutely. So another thing with good content is that it's authentic. Sometimes, especially when we're trying to position ourselves, we mimic other people's style, right?
Mhm.
So we go online and we see someone who's in the same space as us and we begin to mimic that because it
Yeah.
looks successful. Well, it's not going to go far and it's not going to get you where you need to be because it's not authentic to you. So authenticity is style. It's the thing that no one else can copy and do just as good as you. So it's really important in every message that you write, every film that you capture, every picture that you take, every audio that you produce, that voice, that soul, that thing
Mhm.
that's ingrained in your DNA comes out because that's what sets you apart from anyone else and anything else.
Yes, that's what makes the soul simmer.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we're talking about social media, and you talked about some people looking at influencers, but let's talk about what is the difference between a content creator and an influencer? Is there
Absolutely.
a difference? Do they blend?
Yeah. The lines blur a little bit. And again, when we get into influencer space, we're looking at social media. We're looking at spokespeople. So a
Mhm.
content creator is a person who can take something and build it from scratch and tells a great story. And your story can be through numbers. I've met data content creators who tell stories through numbers.
Yeah.
Your story can be in recipes. Your stories can be in song. It can be in anything. That's a content creator. And all of us are content creators.
Yeah.
Some of us share our messages publicly and some of us don't. An influencer is a spokesperson,
Hmm.
someone whose sole job is to sell you on something, whether they 100% believe in it or not, but to influence your decision making on whether or not you're going to make a purchase or do a thing. They are the call to action chiefs. Okay. So the difference between a content creator is someone who is specializing in focusing on vocalizing a message,
Hmm.
and an influencer is focused on selling you a thing. In the space of social media, they merge because they have to vocalize the message, which ultimately gets you to buy the thing. You
Hmm.
don't always have to sell when you're a content creator. You just have to share a perspective. But as an influencer, you always have to sell whether or not there's a perspective.
That's right. That's right. Well, tell everyone, this was such a good interview. I'm so excited. One thing I would love for people to know, because I feel like you are touching on a service that so many entrepreneurs need. They need to get their story together. They need to be able to have a great foundation so that they can create that content that we talked about and becoming really good content creators. And also, the more they are connected to their story, the easier it is when they can create. I always say that it's easier for them to create content when it's connected to them. So please, please, please tell folks how they can get in touch with you.
Absolutely. So I believe across the bottom of your screen, you'll see the website, which is www.contentcommanders.com. That's where you can kind of, do your due diligence to see exactly what it is that we do. So definitely start there. But I always invite people to follow me on LinkedIn, because I'm the brand of Content Commanders. I have a team, but you got to believe in me before you even support anything that I do. So follow me on LinkedIn, and the information is scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Vet me. Google me. I am Googleable, honey. I put in work to be Googleable. So reach out to me, research me, and let's collaborate. If anything, let's collaborate. Let's hear some of your ideas and figure out how to put them, to give them legs and wings so that they can run and eventually fly.
Yes, yes. So you heard that. Look her up. It's linkedin.com, and it's Shannon Baylor-Henderson.
All the names.
And then also go to contentcommanders.com. It has been a plum pleasing pleasure. Spending time with you on this Friday, bringing all of that DC love. Maxine, you're right. Good content sits in your soul and simmers there. That is something that we're going to take away from this interview. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And thank everyone else for joining us on this Friday evening. We appreciate it so much. We'll see you soon.